Tesla pricing had changed this week, but not in a way how you guys would think it did. Actually, there is some controversy here because some people are complaining, saying that it could be a little misleading or even a lot misleading. Let me tell you what it is. Let me tell you what I think could be done a little better. And on the other hand, is this something that other manufacturers can do to promote their electric cars? All of this is coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric!
Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on the subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, so this is a screenshot of what the design studio looks like right now. I think it's actually a homepage right now. That changes, but doesn't really matter. And you know, I actually saw this story in electric as well because I don't usually order my Teslas every day, I have to say, so I don't know what their configurator looks like, but they're keeping their eyes on it. So thank you to them for that. And here's what they noticed, and there are a couple other people that I've heard complaints about. So normally when you configure your cars and on Tesla, you obviously see the price, what's going to cost you. And they just did a little update because their Model 3 configurator was different from Model S and Model X configurator. And now that they simplified or essentially stripped a bunch of options for the Model S and Model X, I had another video about that. They kind of merged them, and now when you're trying to order it, and literally you can just click on order now, you'll see this. What you're going to see is this screenshot that has this, and the price, for example, this one's for 75D at 62,500. But boom, there is a little asterisk that says prices below include potential incentives and gas savings, and then on the bottom. On the bottom, that's not even, oh, my bad. I did not, maybe I should prepare a little bit better for the show, but here's a screenshot I was talking about. So on the bottom, it says the 62.5 is after savings, and then 78 is before savings, and they really basically kind of estimating this for you. Now the screenshot that you just saw me post a second ago, let me bring it back up. And so when you click on that, well, what are they estimating stuff that you're talking about? Is you can see they're talking about incentives of $10,000 and then gas savings for $5,500. So this is where the controversy kind of starts, because both numbers can really be challenged and they're not even true in a lot of cases. Let's start with the fact that just in general, it is impossible to estimate things like this. Now, I know they're saying incentives here in California. I'm assuming because I figured out I'm California. But the gas savings are just impossible because the gas savings have to kind of estimate your gas spending and then how much you would be spending on electricity when you do get your electric Tesla. And that is just a really tough thing to estimate. But let's concentrate on incentives first. $10,000 is a little misleading because, you know, there's a $7,500 tax rebate, which not everybody qualified for, okay? But most people who are buying Teslas are, especially if you're leasing, it will be passed on to you. It is being cut in half starting January 1st, but it looks like they are still able to deliver these cars this year. So that stands. But the $2,500 additional, what they're talking about is the California rebate here. And they recently changed that where you will only get the $2,500 rebate if you make $150,000 or less. And I got to tell you, in Silicon Valley, specifically, and throughout the California, $150,000 is not that much big of a salary. And as a matter of fact, most people who are buying Teslas are probably making more. So that will not apply to them. And they will not be getting those $2,500 savings. So I thought it was a bit misleading. Here's another bigger misleading thing. And let's talk about the gas savings. Before that, let me quickly remind you that this show and this channel is sponsored by Avanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. No matter how much money you spend there, they always estimate their accessories correctly because there's only one price. And I think they just started their Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. So check them out. There's a description. There's a discount code in the description of this video that you guys can also grab and use there. So have a good time holiday shopping on Avanex. All right. So gas savings, 5,500. Now, if you click on the thing on the left, you kind of have to get to it. You will see the explanation. And the explanation here essentially says They're estimating how many miles people drive, which is 10 to 15,000 miles a year. Again, that depends on you. Then it depends on how much money you were spending on your car before. They're saying anywhere between 13 and 1900. And then, and this is where I really think this is getting really kind of shady, is they're saying, well, this is what it's going to be over the 6-year period. Okay, a lot of Teslas are leased, including mine, and obviously the lease is about 3 years. So a lot of times you get rid of that car. And overall, people who buy brand new $100,000 cars don't keep them for 6 years. They keep them for much shorter. As a matter of fact, a lot of times once they're out of warranty and there's a new model that comes out, people switch because if they have money to buy the one originally, they probably have money to keep it going. So 6 years, I think, is way too generous. And also estimating how much money you're spending on it. It really depends on what kind of car you were driving before, right? If you were driving a Prius versus you're buying driving a huge F-150 truck or 350 truck, whatever, that's a major difference. How much gasoline is in your area, and then how much money you're spending on the electricity at home. Some people have solar panels and it costs them zero. And some people have essentially spent so much money on their energy because they have big families, big homes, they're running air conditioning and heaters. By the time their rates get to their car charging, they're double or triple of their regular rate, right? And yes, there is different categories of utilities rates that they offer. Sometimes if you charge at night, it's cheaper, but not for everybody. It really, really does vary a lot, and it's impossible to estimate. So that's another thing that I don't quite agree with. And let me bring this back to another thing, because Tesla did report to us, I think during one of the quarterly earning calls, is that the Model 3 buyers' previous cars are these 5. Toyota Prius, Honda Civic, and Nissan Leaf are amongst them. And those don't spend that much gas at all. Obviously, Nissan Leaf doesn't spend anything. Toyota Prius, also, a lot of them are hybrids or plug-in hybrids. I know some of these people, just because I personally know quite a few of them, they spend like $100 a month on their gas. So if those are the most common cars that people jump to a Tesla Model 3 from, then obviously those saving numbers are not going to be nearly as much. Now, granted, this is a Model 3, and originally I showed you Model S configurator, but here are the numbers for the Model 3. As you can see, the estimation is $4,300, which is still nowhere near of what real. I mean, my estimate, I would say they will go from a $100 bill to maybe a $30 bill as far as how much they're spending on refueling their cars. That's $70 savings a month. Now we're talking about $800 or so per year, and really I think it should be estimated over 3 or 4 years. So it's not even half of what they're estimating. So let me know how you feel about it. Do you think that this is something that other car manufacturers can take advantage of and try to calculate the pricing based on what what people they think they'll end up spending on this car over a certain period of time? Now, I can also go back to Tesla and say, well, you know, your insurance actually costs much more than your competitors in the same category because of many issues that you're having with parts and aluminum body and so forth. So that should be rolled back, right? Anyway, I just really think they should just let everybody figure it out on their own. They can help. They can give information on their website. But I really think they should go back to pricing it the way it's priced and then let everybody figure out what it works for them. Otherwise, it's kind of misleading, isn't it? Well, let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think? I think they might have to roll it back. They've done it before. They roll it back, and I think they might be getting some backlash on this one. By the way, before I go, of course, I want to give a shout out to one of my new Patreons, Simon Pierre. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon community. There are quite a few perks I believe my Patreons do get, including watching me live, being the first ones to see my show. And if you want to become one, patreon.com/E4Electric. Thank you so much. Boom. Good timing, right? Thank you so much for supporting my show. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. And remember, to stay charged.